Hey everybody, it's Jonathan from Breeder Circle, and today I'm going to do a video on something that everyone has been requesting a lot from me now that we're in breeding season, and basically the recovery and how exactly what medium I'm using to put the eggs in. So what we use is a specialty grade vermiculite. When I used to do bearded dragons, we used to hatch about 3,000 to 4,000 a year, and my favorite that I used continuously and had a really good hatch rate was a specialty grade vermiculite. So I started using it with ball pythons, and I've had a pretty good success rate on those. So what I'm going to show you guys on how the whole process is done. So first of all, we use these iris tubs with the tops. Usually there's no holes on the side. This one I just covered it up and we put a top over it. And we weigh out the container and then put the vermiculite. Right here there's about 324 grams. So what I did is I also pre-weighed about 330 grams. It's usually 50-50. So what you do is you just process it all the way down right here. So the female that we have for us, she laid a pretty big clutch, so we're actually going to have to use 2 of these. So here goes the 2 ones right here. So very important when you actually start mixing this up. If you guys don't have a scale, which I know it's a possibility, the best way to just know what's really going on is once you mix it up, you want to be able to squeeze the vermiculite and no water comes out, but at the very same time it clumps together. So that's like one of the ways that I use it. Like if I have eyed it out, I'd rather weigh it in, but when you eye it out, that's one of the ways that gives you a pretty good essence on what you're doing and if it worked pretty well. So if you mix it in pretty well, as we are here, so you see how you grab it and it's clumping together, but there's no water leaking out of it, so that's actually perfect. So it's best to just weigh it out and do the 50-50, and if you can't, if you have to eye it out, then that's not that big of a deal. The incubator, usually the temperature that I use is 88 to 89 degrees. It can fluctuate in a degree or even 2, but you want it to be as stable as possible so that your eggs really do hatch out at the right time and in the right format. Some people I've heard have done it in lower temps just to have bigger eggs, which we used to do with bearded dragons. But if you go too low, it could be dangerous. So keeping it at 88, 89 is probably the safest way. You definitely don't want to go 91 or 92. That right there could be very dangerous, and you're going to get some deformed babies. They might not hatch out correctly, so you want to stay in that range. So there we go. These are both mixed up. Same thing with this one. See, clumped together, no water coming out. So that works out perfect that way. Okay, so here go those. I've also pre-made the labels for these. This clutch 17. This girl is one of our girls. She's a normal, but she looks like an Enchi. Very nice looking girl. Definitely very mean too, so I gotta be careful so I don't get hit in the face. That would not be a good thing at all, at all, at all. So you just hold her down real quickly. So before she bites me, let's go ahead and grab her eggs. So let's see what we have. We have 4, 4, and 4. So yep, this girl gave us a good amount of eggs. Definitely liking that. So you kind of want to push them down, but be careful with the actual eggs themselves. Okay, let's see what we can do. Alright, here goes 6, and then we'll just put the other 6 over there, also on this side over here. So you clump them down a little bit. Be careful with his mom, she might bite me. Alright. Alright, here we go. Alright, so right here the most important part, you maybe want to just push some of the vermiculite there, so they're actually going to remember that the water is what's going to help them grow. So if it gets completely dried out, you always have to make sure you're looking at your eggs, because if they get completely dried out, the eggs will get dried out. And sometimes I've seen in the past where the eggs will look pretty normal on the top, but then they'll start sucking in from the bottom. So you have to be very wary of what you're doing, because if you're not, you can literally kill your eggs, and you wouldn't know till day 55 comes when you think you're either going to cut or the eggs are going to start coming out. So it's always very important. How I do it is I just put the clutch number on the top, the number of the snake, what they were bred to, the amount of eggs, and then the date. So 60 days from there, 55 days from there, it's time to basically have the clutch coming out. So that's the video for you guys. You can follow us on YouTube, so it'll be / Breeder Circle, or you can find us on Facebook. It's either Breeder Circle or Breeder Circle Jonathan Foltz.